Hi everyone, this is Lily, the Basic Baka. Welcome to this bi-weekly show called the Shit Shoujo, where I talk about the shitty shoujo manga that I've read in the past or now. There will be spoilers. Also, consider this your trigger warning, as some manga may have mature themes not suitable for an immature audience. If you do not like these themes, please turn off the video now, as I will have to tackle them within the story's context. Also, keep in mind that I really do enjoy shoujo manga. This is mostly me venting at all the shitty stories out there, and as a way to help promote more manga that I feel is underappreciated, or just throw my hat in and then throw my opinion in another popular franchise. Thank you and enjoy the video. Today's manga we're going to be looking at is called Candy Life by Ogawa Yaoi. Now, she's known as the author and artist for the manga Kimi wa Pet. And I believe there has a drama featuring Arashi member Jun Matsumoto. And I believe there is going to be another drama coming out either this year or next year. I'm not quite sure, sometime in the near future. But I'm guessing this is one of those random stories that she has done. Anyways, here's the description. Life has been hard on Makoto lately, and she's nowhere closer to her wish. She wishes to have a sweet, sweet life. When she's at the lowest of her luck, after her boyfriend took all her money and split, she's rescued by the handsome and rich Aida CEO. To make things stranger, when she's supposed to get married to the CEO, she fools around with his son without knowing his identity. Will she be able to find and choose the man that will be able to give her a sweet life? Oh boy, where shall I begin? To start, as I mentioned before, this manga is kind of old. It was made in 1999, so almost 20 years ago as of this recording. So there's already dated references such as Y2K, the excitement over a PlayStation versus a PlayStation 2. But it does make the story work in a way. Most of the problems could be solved by a simple cell phone call, but because of the time period, it really wouldn't work very well. The art itself is fine, but it looks really off a lot of the times. When it works, it looks amazingly beautiful, and it really sets the appropriate tone, but when it's off, it's really awkward and bad. Often it looks like as though it wasn't actually finished, and it looks just plain ugly. It's very distracting when it gets like that. And on top of that, because of how the art looks, there's a lot of confusion in what's actually going on in the plot, which I'll get into. As for the plot itself, well, it tried its very best. It's only one volume long with a handful of chapters, so yes, there are pacing issues. In fact, there's a whole section that's confusing, and that might be attributed to the art, but who knows? Who really knows? But we'll see. Let's see if we can follow this. In the beginning, Makoto was drunk, and she was unlucky enough to fall off the bay into the ocean, only to be rescued by the rich and handsome CEO. She mentions before she falls in that she was dumped and had lost her job on that day, so she didn't care if she died. However, after the CEO rescued her, he gave her his number and she went on her merry way. After that, she managed to find a job at the video store back when we rented videos and VHSs. And as she reflects her encounter with the rich man, as luck will have it, that's when she gets swindled out of her life savings and got fired due to plot convenience and reasons. That's when she goes with the CEO, who takes her in and not only proposes, but tries to teach her how to be a proper, quote-unquote, proper lady of the house. Until one day she starts wondering herself if this was all worth it, and she wanders off to some club and has sex with some rando guy 3 times in a row. As it turns out, it's her future runaway stepson. What are the odds of that? What a small town. There is already an age gap going on. The CEO is 39 years old, Makoto is 24 years old, and the son is 19 years old. Quite an age gap, wouldn't you say? Then you mix in infidelity when she has sex with the son, along with more than a few handfuls of crappy drama, including a suicide, because, why the hell not? And you'll get this manga. Oh, let's throw in some rape for the hell of it, too. This manga is very good with pulling twists, but you can smell it coming miles away. Honestly, the best character is the grandmother, who apparently never leaves this little college somewhere on the property. The fact it's a single volume hurts the plot very much. The very most, honestly. And it doesn't give the reader time to soak in the revelations that just came out. This would have been better off serialized instead of a single volume, especially when it would come time for the family's truth to come out. There's a strange part in the manga, though, when the son and Makoto decide to run away from it all, because that's what you do. Makoto manages to get kidnapped only to find herself handcuffed to the bed, and it's revealed that the CEO had wanted a child of his own, as the son isn't actually his son. Apparently, the son is from another man's child. He's another man's child. So hey, let's try to handcuff her to the bed to convince her to have, conceive a child with him. The CEO and the son took it out, and then suddenly everything is okay because the son had finally called the CEO dad. And then it cuts to the son's and Makoto's wedding day. Okay, so I have some questions about the manga. Why is Makoto suddenly okay being around the CEO, or even allowing him to walk her down the aisle after being kidnapped and handcuffed to the bed? Why did the son's friend poke a hole through the condom he gave him? Seriously, what's the point? If it's supposed to be funny, that joke was clearly lost on me. And it just wasted time. It's dumb and endangering to them, especially since those two were poor as hell and were literally living in an abandoned house. So I guess that's, if it's a joke, it went over my head. Did the son and the CEO ever resolve their issues? Probably not. The son was always talking about how the CEO always ignored him and never really treated him like a son, when all he was doing was shuffling his feet, wondering if it was okay for him to actually treat him like a child, even though that's another man's child. And even though the son was clearly calling him dad, even up to the fight scene, why was this particular instance important? To answer my own question, no, there's no reason. The author just couldn't be arsed to, and no, they never really did solve their issues, and it's just kind of they just did. Why was it important for the two sisters to follow these men? They never really explained it other than family duty and because my grandfather said so, so we just accepted it, whatever. Clearly, it's a dangerous job because both of them fell in love with their guys, and one actually married and had a kid with them. But again, what's the point? Was it to add more tension between her and Makoto? Because there certainly wasn't any. All in all, this manga isn't very good. The tension that does manage to build up is gone as quickly as it came. The characters aren't really that likable either, other than the grandmother. You don't really want to root for the main character or any of her relationships because, obviously you do feel sorry for her because she does try to attempt suicide, at least at first. You feel bad because she attempted suicide. And then she was like, okay, well, maybe, life's not that bad because a hot guy just saved me. But then she gets, swindled and she loses her job on the same day. So she already feels like shit. But then that sympathy kind of runs out when she's like, okay, so I'm going to accept this guy's proposal because, why the fuck not? I don't love him, but I love his checkbook. But then she goes out and cheats on him with his son, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, I have true love. Oh, I want true love. It's like, oh, after that you're just like, I don't feel sorry for you anymore. Like that's very cold and callous, but yeah, that's just. But yeah, I feel like a lot of these problems, though, especially with the pacing issues, stems mostly for the fact that this manga itself is only one volume long and a handful of chapters. Makoto is now living a sweet life, but it probably would have gone better had this particular series had gotten the serialization that it deserves, not the one that it got. Honestly, yeah, if she would have just if this was more spread out, then it wouldn't feel so like convoluted. It wouldn't feel so unnecessarily dramatic. We could probably finally get family issues resolved between the father or the like, why does the CEO wants a kid so bad? Does he just want someone to pass down his genes? Is it because, you know, he's still mournful of his other dead wife? Or why does the CEO's son okay, now we understand why the CEO's son hates him, but that doesn't, like, nothing is resolved. I don't know. Like, this pisses me off. This looks like it could have been something interesting, but alas, it's just a fucking mess. So I do not read this. Please do not read this. It's not that good. It's very meh.